a little bit, but he steps up in the biggest games. He's played his best in the biggest matchups, including last year in this game. He really dominated that game, especially early on. So, yeah, he's going to be key. I think Attucks has got to hit open shots, hit from the outside, and then I think get up and down and try to make Cathedral really guard them 84 feet. I think that's going to be key.
Desmond came by us and he winked, so I think he thinks he's going to have a pretty big game.
He always thinks that. He's very confident, young man. I've enjoyed getting to know him and covering him, and I think he's going to have a good game tonight.
What's your article going to be about tomorrow? Can you give us a little hint?
Depends what happens. I kind of go in with a blank slate and then see what happens. But I think, obviously, if Attucks plays well, they were the Hall of Fame champions. They will have been the city champions. I think the question is, can you take that next step now? Can you win a sectional? Can you get beyond? So I think that'll be, obviously they can enjoy this if they win it, but then can you take that next step?
And Sectional 10 is only about 4 or 5 weeks away, and I know we'll be here, you'll be here. That's going to be a battle anyway. The whole entire state of Indiana, there's no clear-cut winner in 4A, 2A, or 1A, is there? It's wide open.
It is, and we kind of thought that going into the year. I would say LN, and they're in that sectional, in Sectional 10. To me, they're the best overall team right now, and they beat Attucks in a one-point game. But I think Attucks and Cathedral are right there. I mean, in that sectional, I think it's going to be knockdown, drag-out. Warren's good. There's a lot of good teams in that sectional, like every year, but very good top 10 teams this year.
Crowd is a little down, but it's probably the weather, so our ratings will be really good tonight, Kevin, and Kyle, and if you want to watch the replay, you can watch it 30 minutes after the game.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a little disappointing because of the weather. I kind of expected that, but yeah, it's going to be a great game. Your ratings will be great. Hopefully my story is well read, and we have a great atmosphere tonight. And then we'll hook up again. We'll take a break. When we come back, the guys that are calling the game are next on IndianaSRN.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
It's very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid, getting involved in those things, and I think that's why clients like to work with us.
He says he's going to do the intro, and then he's going to throw it to us.
Okay. It's the city tournament championship game. It's next. And the guys that are calling it is right upstairs, and I'm going to throw it to them now. Stay tuned.
The City Alliance Basketball Championship has two familiar faces squaring off again tonight for bragging rights in this city of Indianapolis. It's the Tigers of Crispus Attucks. They're the defending champions. They come in at 12-3. And the Fighting Irish of Cathedral, they enter tonight's championship match coming in at 12-1. Tonight's game brought to you in part by the Morales Group. Building better futures, one story at a time. Aspen Creek Grill. Why go anywhere else for delicious food? Burtner Electric, providing quality electrical services in central Indiana. Boilermaker Local 374. We're second to none in quality and performance. Clean Slate, inspired innovation that moves business forward. Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation and everything in between. and by the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Watch the best Division III basketball on HCAC.tv, where you always have a front row seat. Troy Narogowski, Coach Craig Cox with you tonight. Championship Monday. Coach, I tell you what, these two teams have had a relatively easy road to get here. All this one points to is a great matchup tonight. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top.
No, it is. And, I mean, obviously we're in a position where we, can hit the rewind button or the fast forward. But, about a year ago today, these two teams were together. Obviously, Attucks got the best of Cathedral last year and winning last year's city title. But then, obviously, Cathedral returned the favor in where it probably might mean just a little bit more in tournament play, being the sectional where it was round 2 of the matchup. So we fast forward again this year. Two great teams going at it. This has been going on for decades, 71 if I'm not mistaken, years that this goes back. So in the early to mid 50s. So what a great tradition, and no better place than to be right here in the city of the center of the city at Tech High School, and they always do a great job.
A lot of attention in this one here this evening. We have a lot of good talent on both sides of the basketball. Let's start off with Crispus Attucks. You talk about a game they had the other night. I mean, they just simply dominated, much like Cathedral did in their semifinal contest. And they've got so many different weapons. It really starts with Desmond Briscoe, the guy inside, 11 points in the first half. Didn't score in the second half, but they really didn't need him. Ron Rutland was kind of held in foul trouble in that game, so he didn't really have the kind of night he was hoping. But Demetrius Jenkins stepped up. Jackson Payton stepped up as well in a very balanced attack.
Well, and it's one where you always want to try to take it wherever you can get it. But at the same time, you need to be in a position where your horses, and you're able to ride them the way that you expect to ride them. It does start a lot with the big fella, and then certainly with Rutland on the perimeter as well, such a heady player. Has had to try to take a little bit of different approach this year in terms of his role. Last year was an 18-point scorer, now a 13, 14-point scorer. But it's coming in such more of a balanced way, in addition to some different tasks being called upon him in different roles in terms of running the point guard, whereas last year he was more of the off guard, but has a great ability going to UIndy, already signed there. But I think a lot does start with how their perimeter play is in terms of how it gets started with the big fella. And then don't forget, Mason Lewis as well, another 12-point scorer. He came in as a North Central transfer. This is a balanced team. Coach Hawkins does a great job. Keep in mind, obviously, they have a state championship not too far long ago as they got their 6th.
Before we hear from head coach Chris Hawkins, Keith Myers had a chance to talk to him earlier tonight. When you talk about Desmond Briscoe, he had a coming out game last year in this championship, and he's kind of been just the name of the game, it seems like, over the last year and a half.
Well, he is, and I think that the big staple of that last year when Cathedral had Xavier Booker, who's now at Michigan State, and he really established himself well and kind of created, not people knew about Desmond, but it really kind of created a whole different conversation when he played against Xavier the way that he did. But I think that, in terms of trying to get back to kind of the old school game, and in terms of you don't have really the strong really game in terms of inside or post presence, Briscoe gives you that. He's not only a tall guy, but he's a big body as well. Can really do some things on the post and stretch you a little bit as well. But I'll tell you, it starts with Rutland turning on the outside in terms of the perimeter where they can stretch you defensively as well. So being able to try to find that balance is not only the key for Attucks, but also will be for Cathedral as well.
Well, as mentioned, Keith Myers had a chance to talk with Crispus Attucks coach Chris Hawkins earlier tonight.
Coach, how important is this game, other in the city championship, how important is this game for your kids?
No, I think just bragging rights. These kids play AAU in the summer, and so, we'll go to tournaments and everything. So, you want to have bragging rights and things like that. And, of course, Coach Delaney gave me my first job. So, I want to improve that record. I know right now he's a little bit up on me. So, hopefully, if we play well and do what we need to do, we'll have a chance to get another victory.
Kids played well in the semifinals. What do you tell them in the locker room tonight?
We got to be strong, got to be physical, got to play smart, limit turnovers, play great defense. We play the Attucks way. I think we'll be able to take care of it.
Last time we were here at double overtime. Let's not do that again tonight. Let's just get this done, Coach.
We'll try.
Chris Hawkins, back up to you guys.
Once again, Chris Hawkins, the head coach for Crispus Attucks. When we come back, we'll talk about the Fighting Irish of Cathedral, hoping to return that championship trophy to the north side. That's coming up in a moment right here on Indiana SRN.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Back here at Tech High School, just moments away from the tip-off of this championship matchup, Crispus Attucks and Cathedral. Well, the big story right now is and it appears that Keaton Aldridge will not play again tonight. He didn't play in the semifinals, but they didn't need him against Heritage Christian. But you're still looking at a Cathedral team coach that is well-balanced. They're deep, just like Attucks.
It is. It is a big hole to fill, but, you know, when you're in a position where you're without one, it calls upon somebody else to kind of pick up the slack. Obviously, it's a big, tough hole to fill when you got Keaton Aldridge, just a sophomore, but averaging 15, 7 boards, and 3 assists. But the other things that he does is a lot of things that don't show up in terms of the stat lines. He's a great leader on the floor. Although just being a sophomore, he's a great kid that, really is active in keeping the 50-50 balls alive. If he's not getting them, he's keeping them alive just by his activity. So certainly one that he'll have to be able to fill tonight.
Let's talk more about them in a moment. First off, Coach Myers had a chance to talk with Cathedral head coach Jason Delaney.
In this city tournament to get off quick, what do you tell the kids in the locker room tonight?
Just have fun and do what we do. We've had pretty good starts in the first quarter this season, and so it's just being relaxed. We schedule the way that we do, so that way when they get on these stages, it's just kind of what we do.
Thousands of people are watching on IndianaSRN. You got anything for them to say?
No, just, we talk about it all the time with our program. We hope people watch it and see us play the right way. They sacrifice for each other. They move the ball. They play extremely hard, and we just want people to watch our brand of basketball and say we play it the right way.
This is always a war. Double overtime, don't. No. I want to go home. Just win this thing out. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Back up to you.
Once again, Coach Delaney talking about tonight's matchup, and of course they have a very deep team, as we said a little bit ago. Brady, Kaler, probably the go-to guy, though the other night he had 11 points, but it was down to Derek Kennedy, who ended up with 19 points in the third quarter, 28 points in the night. He was simply unconscious.
Well, and he's one that's averaging 11, and so there's a lot of similarities with both these teams, not only from a team standpoint, with what they have statistically, but also both of them have kind of four-headed monsters, if you will, where they're averaging 4 of them at 12 and above. And so any of these guys can get 18 plus on a given night. I think it's certainly got to start a lot with how well they're able to get their guys going early. And again, when you have guys that are down, somebody's got to pick up the role in what they have.
Yeah, by the way, Kennedy ended up with 7 3-pointers in that contest. Anthony Fields, he had 10 points. Aiden Hughes had 10 points as well. Good balanced scoring. They outscored Heritage, Coach, 30-4 in that third quarter. It was unbelievable.
Well, and both these teams, they like the tempo. I think Cathedral's one that can try to look to break you down a little bit more half court. Not that Attucks can't, but Attucks wants a little bit more tempo sometimes, but both of them enjoy that. You also, from a coaching perspective, these are two teams that have their respective coaches that have won state titles. 2017 with Hawkins, and then interesting enough, a great stack. Jason Delaney coaching his 470th game tonight. He's won 3 state championships at 3 different schools. Waldron, as well as Tech right here when he was a coach with Trey Lyles, and then obviously had the II state championship with Cathedral. So the great tenure here, great programs, historically speaking, unbelievable obviously with Attucks, but both of these have a long litany of things that they have within their respective programs.
Tip-off coming up next right here in Indiana SRN.
Presented by the Indianapolis City Alliance. Fans, please rise, and gentlemen, remove your hats as we honor America and those who protect and defend.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
National anthem here at Tech High School. Time for the starting lineups. Let's go to our public address announcer.
Indianapolis City Basketball Tournament and this championship game featuring the Christmas Attucks Tigers and the Cathedral Fighting Irish. Introducing the Christmas Attucks Flying Tigers. At guard, a 6-foot junior, number 1, Chris Hurd. At guard, a 6'3" senior, number 0, Demetrius Jenkins. At guard, a 5'10" senior, number 12, Mason Lewis. At guard, a 6'2" senior, number 5, Ron Ruffin. The big man, a 6'8" junior, number 11, Jasmine Briscoe. In his 8th season as head coach, Chris Hawkins. The starting lineup for the Cathedral Fighting Irish. At forward, a 6'7" senior, number 31, Sheldon Kaplan. At forward, a 6'9" junior, number 11, Brady Kaler. At guard, a 6'3" junior, number 21, Aiden Hughes. At guard, a 6'1" junior, number 0, LeBron Goff. The other guard, a 5'11" junior, number 4, Terry Kennedy.
All right, there you have it. Starters for both teams. Coach keys to this one tonight.
Well, I think for Attucks, it's got to be how well we can get Briscoe established early on in the post presence. I think he can certainly have his way against Kaler. And then I think, obviously, you got to be able to understand how's your transition in terms of tempo for Attucks. How quickly can they get into their break and get some good transition points? I think on Cathedral side, it's certainly going to be how they can handle the big boy Briscoe and their ability to defend on the perimeter. I think both wise, it's always about who can keep the turnovers down. They're going to happen, but how well can you minimize those? And then the best ability is what? Availability. Got to keep your big horses out of foul trouble.
All right, Cathedral, the number 1 seed. Attucks, the number 2 seed. Cathedral lost to Attucks in the championship game last year. They came back and knocked off Attucks in the sectional 76-33, so that might be wearing on the minds a little bit of Attucks going into this one here tonight. Briscoe wins the tip. Attucks basketball, we are underway. That's Mason Lewis, 16 points in their win against Washington. And again, the big key tonight is Keaton Aldridge not playing for the Fighting Irish. That is Lewis with the basketball. You see
Obviously,
Cathedral opening up man-to-man. Here's Lewis. Goff on the drive, layup good. Take that back. That's going to be Demetrius Jenkins.
Well, and a lot of that happened by the downhill penetration, making the next layer guard you, and when he committed, doing a great job of off the ball with the basket cut.
Hayden Hughes, 6'7", feeds it off now to Kennedy. His three-pointer is no good. Battle for the loose basketball. Coming away with big fella inside. A lot of contact there against Hughes. He misses it. Ball stripped away from Briscoe, and then the foul against Aiden Hughes, and he'll go to the line.
Well, and that's the one thing that you got to keep Cathedral from getting is the opportunity, and both teams for that matter, the second chance opportunities. That was one time certainly there on the first one where Cathedral was very, very aggressive in terms of getting 2 offensive boards. Briscoe obviously getting that ball, really needs to get that ball chin and look to pivot as the first one goes down.
Hughes had 10 in the win against Heritage Christian. He, along with Gatlin at 6'7", Taylor at 6'8", giving them plenty of size. Second free throw's on the way, good.
And Cathedral shoots 65% from the line as a team, obviously getting a 2 for 2 here on the first possession.
Chris Hurt, he had 16 points in their semifinal win as well. This is Rutland.
Cathedrals came out early on and established what they're going to do with Briscoe is really hard front him and try to get something over the top and rely on the help side.
Hurt misses the 3. Kaler with a rebound, and Kaler is a guard and a big body. The drive, layup good.
Well, the thing I really don't like there is Briscoe kind of opened his hips and gave Kaler a direct line to the basket as opposed to squaring him up and trying to make him do something else with the ball.
Rutland will find Jenkins. Jenkins drives, left it short. Offensive rebound, put back good.
Well, Jenkins early on has both basket here for the Tigers as we're squared up.
Back the other way. Here's Goff. It's Gatlin with the basketball off now to Kaler. Kaler for 3, missed it. The ball tipped out. Briscoe went for the rebound. It was tipped right into the hands of Gatlin. He missed the 3, and another offensive board. Gatlin down the lane, blocked by Briscoe. Here come the Tigers. 3-on-2 break back the other way. Pass inside. They'll wave it off. They're going to say it's on the floor. No free throws here for Chris Hurt.
No, I love that too. I mean, Rutland's one of those guys that can obviously knock that down in transition, but played the percentage. Point guard qualities. Think about playing the percentages and get your teammates involved. Briscoe with the long 3 here comes up long.
Back there the way we go. It's going to be Goff getting fouled on the reach.
Well, that's what you can't have too. We talked about in the opening segment, best ability is availability. Just a silly foul there by Jenkins. You know, he's not in scoring threat at that point and kind of did the lazy thing and swiping at him.
Kaler on the baseline. Good ball movement here by the Fighting Irish. This is Kennedy with the basketball. Missed his first shot earlier, near turnover. Wide open, Hughes. 3-pointers off the front of the rim, high for the rebound, Jenkins. And then ball thrown away. Second turnover. Here is Kaler for 3. Can't get it. Yep, it'll go in.
I'll tell you, not only as Cathedral being very active, but I think there's a lot of inactivity of the Tigers not finding their men. There's just been too many active hands on the ball on the offensive end for Cathedral on the putbacks.
Lewis gets it blocked by Kaler and then stripped away. Briscoe can't get it. Here's Kennedy back the other way across the timeline.
And in addition to that, Troy, it's being strong with the ball. I mean, really getting that, chinning it, and protecting it, ripping the hip, and being in a position where you keep it from the defender.
Kennedy gives it up to Kaler. Kaler drives, gets it blocked by Briscoe. Saved from going out of bounds. Will head the other way. Down court pass to Rutland. Rutland finding his teammate wide open in the corner. 3-pointer good. Chris Hurt.
Well, again, that's Rutland's leadership in terms of the transition, in terms of finding the open guy.
Pull-up jumper by Goff, all hard off the back of the iron. Long rebound, Briscoe. Quick outlet pass to Hurt. Hurt losing it on the floor, still loose, and another turnover for Attucks.
Yeah, tough decision there, certainly by Chris. It was more like 1-on-4. Kind of wait for some of those numbers. And now this is the second foul by Jenkins on the perimeter, where he picks that up. And again, you just got to sit and get in your stance and guard your yard. Be in a position where you are actually just trying to create a turnover based by your presence, but not so much by bailing them out. They've already gotten 3 team fouls early on here.
We've got a timeout on the floor. Attucks, we're tied at 7 on this one. Want to remind you tonight's game is brought to you in part by Officially Human. Their mission is to restore respect to game officials and recognize them as authorities on the field and court. Thanks to our officials, because without them, we don't play. Sportsmanship is everyone's job. 3 turnovers by Attucks. And again, the 2 fouls by Jenkins will take him out of the equation. So, got to be interesting to see how the Tigers kind of even this up a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, in terms of the availability, and you certainly got to be smart. And now he's going to be on the bench. And, you know, here's the thing, too, that I think that has really hurt Attucks early on here, or halfway through the first quarter, is just their inability to get these caroms coming off on the defensive end and giving Cathedral second chances, but just being stronger with the ball and adding a presence early on. There's just been very lackluster in terms of possessing the ball.
So Kaler will inbound the basketball. Here's Goff. Nice bounce pass inside. Shot block. Hughes has it rejected. Outlet pass to Hurt. Hurt back the other way. And what do we got here? A foul on the floor against Cathedral. They'll get Sheldon Gatlin. Gatlin picks up his first.
Well, that's the case of pushing the ball and creating the pace that Attucks certainly wants to get, and that's where they can really hurt you. So if they can get more than a dozen points in transition, certainly will play well for them as this game progresses.
Tigers basketball tied at 7. We're halfway through this opening quarter. Good look at Chris Hurt. What a matchup he, along with LeBron Goff, will be all night long. Rutland dumps it down low, and we've got an offensive foul on Rutland.
Well, those are things, too. Great job there by Aiden Hughes, knowing that Rutland was leaving his feet and established his presence to be able to take that charge. If you're Rutland on the other side and you know that you're giving that up, whether you're stopping and pulling, got to get straight up and down, whether it's the pass or the shot.
4 turnovers now by Attucks here in the opening quarter of play. Gatlin, left side to Kennedy, and he throws it away. They're able to get it back. Kennedy bouncing to the baseline, and it's going to be out of bounds anyway. So really not a turnover there early, but just some sloppy passing. Cathedral committing their first turnover of the night.
And you talk about turnovers, Keith. Both these teams take pretty good care of the ball. Both of them averaging 10 and 11 respectively. And so, you know, typically they're taking good care of it. But one that's, again, we talked about they're going to happen, but trying to keep them to a minimal.
Jackson Payton in the lineup. Payton wearing number 23 for the Tigers. Drive in the lane, left-hand shot on the way, good by Hurt. He has 5.
Well, your ability to get deep into the defense, to make that next layer guard you is good. When they do, you got to have guys spotting up for the kicks.
Kaler, hands off now to Hughes. Kennedy on the drive, almost blocked there by Briscoe, certainly changed his shot. Will head the other way, quickly down the floor with a right-hand shot on the left side. That's missed by Payton, but he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, again, transition pieces that Attucks is trying to get you in. Certainly what I would have rather seen Jason do there in terms of that is taking that one extra strong power dribble, the basket, kind of load to explode, get off 2 feet, and go vertical. Those are always tough to hit as he hits the first free throw when you're sailing out of bounds and trying to, score back the other way. But nonetheless, drew the foul, hit the first, and we'll see what he does here with the second.
Now a 4-point lead for the Tigers. See what Cathedral can do to answer right here. Goff will give it out front now to Kaler. Gatlin, left side wing to Hughes. They'll back off. That's Briscoe backing off. The drive down low by Kaler to Gatlin. Kennedy gives it back to Gatlin. Skip pass near side Goff. Goff, nice shot fake and layup good by Aiden Hughes.
Well, great job there by Aiden as far as showing the ball. It's a show and go type piece. Get him off the feet and then look to power dribble and finish as he did there.
Coming up on 2 minutes remaining here in the opening period of play. This is Mason Lewis. Nice crossover. Pull-up jumper on the way. Got the touch.
Mason averaging 12 a game. Is in the scoring column with his first bucket.
Goff lost it. Second turnover. Tigers quickly down the floor. Layup good at the other end. Nice play by Hurt.
And Hurt now with 7. But again, these are the transition points that are what will continue to accumulate. They're trying to get it, and they've got some guys that can get out in the wide range to go with Briscoe stretching you on the 3 here.
Well, Briscoe missed it. Back there the way we go. Lead pass will find Goff. Here's Kaler on the drive. Blocking foul called against Rutland. And that's going to be number 2 on Ron. Ron got into foul trouble the other night and had to sit quite a bit.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting ready to come out as well, which is certainly a thing that Coach Hawkins doesn't want to be able to do in the first quarter, where you got 2 starters on the bench with 2 and wondering how long you might sit, because then you also got to think about not getting that third before the break.
Yeah. So here's Kaler at the line, 5 points, first trip to the line tonight. They're now a perfect 3 of 3 from the line. Coming into the lineup, Eric Jackson. And also coming in for Cathedral, Anthony Fields. We mentioned Fields in the pregame, 10 points against Heritage Christian.
One thing is that Coach Delaney has with this Cathedral team is some youth. Out of his 4 leading scorers, 3 are juniors, and then Aldridge, pretty much their most well-rounded player, is only a sophomore. So not only got these guys for this year, but also next. And then the other thing to talk about, as I think we did in the opening segment, is both these teams are participants in Sectional 10, arguably one of the best in the state, and so they have the chance to play each other again.
Kaler got another chance, missed it. Offensive rebound, Hughes. It was a lane violation called against Peyton. Here's a 3 on the way, good. And you've been waiting for that, Derek Kennedy. His first bucket of the night. We mentioned 28 in the semifinal win. Lead at 2. Lewis off now to Hurt. Under a minute remaining, opening quarter. Largest lead has been 4. The drive by Lewis. The kick out. Here's the 3 on the way. Good by the left-hander, Hurt.
Well, he's now got 10. Certainly has done it inside and now outside with this second 3 of the game here.
This is Goff with the basketball, turns it over. Kaler was headed toward the basket, and Goff thought he was going to go back to the outside.
Yeah, I mean, made his first move out, kind of misread. The thing I'd like to see with Attucks on this end of the floor offensively is to try to see a little bit more action off the ball. I think a lot of times that they're blessed with a lot of athleticism and a lot of guys that can dribble drive, get to the gaps and get downhill. But what that can get you in is having other guys standing, watching that happen. So when that penetration happens, there's got to be action off the ball to make better options for accessibility.
By the way, Rutland back in with those 2 fouls, looking for some offense right here. That is Rutland with the basketball. Crossover, scoop shot up, no good. Rebounded by Kennedy. We'll head the other way. By the way, Rutland still back. Under the basket, shot blocked by Briscoe. He got Hughes. Quickly back the other way. Here's Rutland, 2-on-2. Up and under, scoop shot, good.
Great up and under move. Great read, pulled him out to the basket and then underneath. So good way to get in the scoring column there for Rutland to end the first quarter.
After 1, Attucks leads it by 7.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
20-13 at the end of one. Coach, my question to you is, this tempo it's got to be favored to Christmas Attucks, don't you think? The tempo?
Yeah, without question. They're always wanting to usher you into that, getting things north of 12 points in a game with that. But that's exactly what they want. I think they got to be able to look at the half-court game and being able to see what that's doing off of the ball with movement.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Cham's Sweet and Savory Cafe. They offer traditional food like Grandma used to make. They have a great staff, even better food. Check it out Wednesday through Sunday, 317-760-1640. Back in action, Cathedral basketball. Goff with the basketball, off now to Fields. Hughes has been active on the offensive side. Crossover by Fields, nothing there. Good defense by Attucks. Shot fake drive by Kaler. Fadeaway shot missed. Ball tipped up. Rebound Hughes. Hughes stripped out of his hands. Nice steal there by Payton. 4 turnovers by Cathedral. Quickly inside to Briscoe. Briscoe turns. Offensive foul on Briscoe.
Yeah, tough call there. Didn't quite think that his hips were squared, but at the same time, it's what the officials saw. I would like to see Desmond do just that, though, is square himself more up on the block. There's a lot of mismatches that he can create, even with Kaler. He's much bigger body, established himself on the post, and kind of more look to get more drag dribbles in and Krabs dribbles to get to the basket.
Kennedy for 3, missed that one badly. Rebound Attucks will head back the other way with a 7-point lead. Here's Mason Lewis at the midcourt circle. High post Briscoe. We saw him shoot a 3 earlier. Will now find Hurt at the elbow. Hurt gets a step on Kennedy. Left hand good. What a first half so far for Chris Hurt.
Well, and just exposing the Irish defense in terms of with the quickness.
Cathedral down by 9. The spin and a foul call as Fields goes to the floor, and they will say he will shoot 2 on this one.
Well, Typus and hedging on the pick and roll is the toughest thing to defend defensively, but it's the best thing to use offensively. You don't see it as much as certainly what I would like, but with a lot of others too. You see it at the highest level in the NBA where it's a pick and roll league. And if it's the hardest thing for the professionals to do and to guard, then you should expose it a little bit more. Got the second one here. Fields gets them both.
Yeah, by the way, his first 2 points. Lead at 7. Mason Lewis working the point. He'll be met there by Kennedy. That's Briscoe out on the high post, feeding to Hurt.
I just want to see the penetration, kind of pinch the help, make them commit. You got the off guard to be able to hit back door to get a lob here.
Ball tipped in the air. It'll stay with Attucks, near turnover. Nice pass inside. Short shot. Good touch by Jackson.
That's Jackson's first basket. An official stoppage here. Not sure what it might be. Might have been a warning.
Yeah.
Delay game.
Touched the ball through the basket. So that goes against the Tigers. I could see Coach Delaney telling his team to rebound.
Well, they've done a good job, probably better maybe even on the offensive end that they have the defensive end.
Nice pass inside. Kennedy, short jumper, good.
Yeah, one of the toughest in basketball to hit is that little short corner. It's all touch. But great job there getting downhill again, making the help commit and then making yourself accessible or available with the little kick.
The drive, losing his touches. Jackson able to get it back and lay it in.
Well, Jackson came in for Rutland and doing good things here, coming right off the bench with 4 points.
Lead back to 9. Here's Fields. They'll get it outside to Goff. In the corner to Kaler. Kaler on the drive. Kennedy back outside to Fields. Fields spins in the lane. No. Rebound by the big guy, Kaler. His putback good.
He's now got 8. But again, just too many second chance opportunities, Troy, here in the first half for the Irish.
Lewis gets the high screen from Briscoe. Thought about the 3. Gives it up now to Hurd, who has the hot hand here in the first half. Clock at 5 minutes and under. The drive, scoop shot, no good. Briscoe rebound, put back off the miss by Hurt.
That's his first basket of the game. Those are the types of things where we get a timeout here, where Briscoe has to not only establish himself on the post, but he's got to be a rim crasher as well to get those putbacks.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Fighting Irish basketball following the timeout. The drive by Goff, the missed shot, it goes out of bounds, last touch by Briscoe. The 9-point lead has been the biggest, and every time the Cathedral comes back, Attucks has been answering the call. The lob inside, Kaler bucket good.
Great touch by the big fella there. Tough one on the out of bounds, especially when you're floating away from the basket, but really showed not only his athleticism, but the soft touch as well.
The drive down the lane, contact, offensive foul called against Payton. Sixth turnover now by Cathedral. Coach, you said a little bit ago, able to pull up on those jumpers. We see so many players today just almost hell-bent on getting to the basket, and it costs them many turnovers.
It does. I mean, obviously, over-penetration, there's such a thing. A real big part of the game of basketball that's been lost is the mid-range game.
Yeah.
That 8 to 12-foot type things is the stop and the pull-ups as we get Hughes with a basket here to cut the lead to 7.
Hughes with 6. I'd love to see that part of the game come back, though. Sometimes we either shoot the 3 or we force it in too hard. Drive by Payton, and what do we have? We got a foul call against the Fighting Irish. By the way, Rashawn Butts has come in for Attucks. He wears number 2. Kennedy picks up the foul. That'll be his first. Tigers lead it by 5. A lot of contact there, no whistle. Pull-up shot from 15 is good. Great shot there by Mason Lewis.
He's now got 4.
Back the other way, and a traveling call against Hughes. 5th turnover now by the Fighting Irish.
Well, again, I'd like to see either team use a little bit more ball screens, but looking for Attucks to do more and more off the ball. I mean, when you talk about principally speaking offensively, there's 3 ways that you're going to break down any type of defense. And it's always going to be first with your spacing, and then it's going to be how well you move the ball on ball movement, and then how well your player movement is off of the ball. You do those 3 things, and you're going to be set up to really counter any type of defense that's thrown at you.
Good look here at Hurt. Looking inside to Briscoe, the kick out, the 3 on the way by Payton is good. Nothing but net, Payton.
Well, the more and more of those are hit, stretches the defense, which should expose the interior a bit more for the big fella with Briscoe to add his presence.
Lead at 10, crossover by Fields. Wide open is Goff, his 3-pointer short, and the rebound by Jackson. Quick outlet pass to Butts, back to Jackson. Jackson driving, offensive foul. Coach, it's pretty simple. I mean, it really is, isn't it?
Yeah, one is controlling the break and getting that. I mean, if nothing else, that's the 4th charge, if I'm not mistaken. Hughes has 2 himself, and they've established themselves that they're going to plant their feet. So, Attucks, and then not only that, whether some of them has been suspect or not, Attucks has to understand this is the way that the game's being officiated, at least here tonight. And so they got to be in a position where they're a little bit more in control.
Tigers off the miss by Fields. Quick release in the corners, missed badly by Rutland, and somehow Tigers get it back. Rutland, shot fake, out front against Kaler, gives it off now to Hurt. Entry pass, turnover number 8. Kaler back the other way. Finds his teammate Fields. Fields bouncing inside. He turns it over. Here's Rutland. Rutland 2-on-1, and the layup good by Butts. Back the other way. Kaler, quick 3 on the release. That's short. Kaler going after the loose basketball, and they're going to get Kaler on the foul.
Well, I believe we've opened this game now to 12, which is the largest lead of the game. There's different guys scoring quite a bit. You got eight that are in the scoring column for the Tigers at this point. So there's a lot of guys, not only the pace that they're hitting you with, but they've shown their ability to hit the 3 as well, as they've had 4 so far here in the first half.
That is Butts on the drive. He goes hard to the floor, and we've got a foul call. See if they'll send Butts to the line on this one, as coming back into the ball game will be Mason Lewis. Foul called against Derek Kennedy. That'll be his second. And we will, nope, we're going to go underneath.
Shots.
They were all lining up like we were going to shoot.
Yeah, no, I think what had happened there is the official was signaling that he went to blow his whistle and it came out of his mouth, so that was was a little bit of delayed. And I think that's what he's explaining maybe to Coach Hawkins right now.
Right. It happens.
At the time that he blew his whistle, it would have been a shooting foul, but he wanted to blow it for when it was on the ground.
Attucks, the drive, scoop shot, left hand, no, by Lewis, and he'll go to the line.
Mason, a transfer in from North Central, averaging 12, 3 boards and 4 assists. Senior guard, 5'10".
Kaler picked him his second, by the way.
Both teams with 4 fouls, and so both teams will be shooting the rest of the way. Again, with the new rule, get 2 shots on the 5th foul, resets each quarter, and have taken out the 1-and-1.
Well, you can tell media attention on this game. Look at all the cameras downstairs, Coach. I mean, everybody's here.
Yeah, no, it's a great crowd tonight, even with the pending weather coming in tonight. Had a good, I'd say it's probably 70% full in here. And you're right, the media outlets are heavy, and as it should be. I mean, you got 2 great programs. 71st year City Alliance right here in the heart of the city here at Tech High School gets the second here. So it's an exciting time for both these teams.
14-point lead. That's now the biggest. Here's Kaler for 3. Missed it. He's been cold from the outside. How about that rebound by Hughes? Feeds it inside to Gatlin. Back to Hughes, and then it's Kaler laying it in.
That's his 12th point for Kaler, averaging 17 a game.
Coach, you're right. They're doing much better offensive rebounds than they are on the other side. Nice pass inside. Layup good by Briscoe. He has 4.
Well, Rutland does such a great job of finding his teammates. And what you want out of a point guard is having basket vision. And this is a kid, too, that can put up 20 on any given night. Certainly kudos to Coach Hawkins. This is a kid that's already signed with UIndy. Going to be looking at transitioning not only their program but also in the point guard. And so for shuffling him there and developing him away as he prepares for the next level.
Here's a 3 on the way. Good by Aiden Hughes.
Hughes has done most of his work tonight on getting scrappy in the putbacks and at the foul line. Now he's showing he can stretch the defense with the tray ball.
Under a minute remaining, 12-point lead. This is Lewis. Lewis, he'll pull up from 14, can't get the roll. Rebound by Kaler, and a foul call against Attucks. It'll be Jackson, and we're going to walk to the other end and shoot 2 shots. I'm going to say Briscoe instead of Jackson, so that's even bigger.
Yeah, even though it's been quite some years, that Coach Delaney has coached here at Tech, and you're reminded by it by the 2014 state champions here painted on the court, back in his place where he once coached an All-American and Mr. Basketball, former Kentucky player Trey Lyles. But then on the other side, you got double duty in terms of Coach Hawkins is not only a basketball coach, but is also responsible for running all the athletic programs. Yeah. Such a large piece. Just being a head coach is very demanding of the time and a big commitment. But shout out to him and what he's doing for Crispus Attucks and developing the full athletic program is a great task.
And it had been years they didn't have a program for quite some time.
Yeah, no, you're right. Went for a while without it. And I'll tell you, what's really neat to see for those, that aren't here tonight and can't see it, there's a lot of alumni here from, the 70s and the 80s that have their letter jackets from Crispus Attucks that they're still wearing. And some of them you can see that are much newer. It's not like the original one. So there's great pride in what Attucks, certainly has provided this city through the years, and the 5 championships that they had before Coach Hawkins arrived, and then capturing their 6th.
Second free throw good by Kaler. Boy, you talk about, you mentioned alumni. Think about all the players at Attucks.
Oh, my God.
You could nonstop, right?
Oh, it was enormous. And I'll tell you, there was a lot of them. That there was such a pipeline with Attucks through the 60s and 70s, where a lot of those guys, and not just Attucks, but a lot of the inner city schools that went a pipeline through Butler with Tony Hinkle.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a few of them.
There is a discussion going on at the scores table. 40-30 is what they have up on the board. I think it should be 40-29, right? We'll have to wait until they sort it out. They don't want to ask me because all my stuff is unofficial.
The interesting story here, too, you got 50 seconds to go. Rutland's on the floor with 2 fouls. You just hope that he doesn't pick up that third. Demetrius Jenkins is the other one that picked up 2 even quicker than Rutland did. He's on the bench, but Rutland is in. Very disciplined player. But I'm sure Coach Hawkins and his staff are hoping that he doesn't pick up his third before the break.
Well, this is always interesting. They're going to have both teams go to the bench until they get it figured out.
There's some just simple math going on over there. The
so,
running
right?
score. Let's add up the scoring columns and see what we have.
How would you like to be the official scorer right now, and all the pressure's on you? Huh?
Well, trust me, the way the game is now, they could go to either side and find a parent that probably might have it just as good as one of the scorebooks.
I agree.
Some of these parents keep the logs over there, and they got a running tally as well. Now, who to believe, might be the other thing.
Yeah, you might get several different answers out of that. Might be worse than what we're doing now. Now they've got a 39-29 again, so I think that's where it should have been in the first place. So now both teams ready to go.
We got it squared away. Well, if nothing else, it became not only a dance break for the cheerleaders, but even the players as well.
That's right.
I see that Chris Hurt having a good time. He's had such a good half. I guess he got his dance on along with it.
They do dance better than anybody. I watched him the other night. So good look at Lewis across the timeline as he works it against Fields. See if the Tigers will try to play for one to end out the first half. Nonetheless, they're going to go into the locker room with a lead.
Well, a double-digit one at that is what you want. It looks inviting, but I think certainly the right thing. And, this not only plays for this moment good, but it plays for other moments that you're going to be faced with the rest of the year in terms of the discipline and playing for that shot.
This is Rutland.
And on these times, too, Troy, you really want to go with about 8 or 7. Get your shot off with about 4, giving you enough time to try to get a putback if you can.
Nice pass to Jackson. Layup good. Give the assist to Lewis. Back the other way, the spin, the kick, quick floater on the way, good by Hughes. Hughes, quick release, and what a first half he has had. Halftime score, we're at 10, 41-31. Coach, I'll tell you what, it's been entertaining, but you got to give Attucks a lot of credit. They played well in the first half.
No, they did, despite early foul trouble by 2 starters. It's one that they're holding on. You still got to feel good going to the locker room with a 10-point lead on a team that put you out of the tournament last year.
Leading the way for Attucks, 12 points by Hurt, 6 points by Jackson, 4 by Briscoe. Rutland had 2, 6 by Lewis, 4 points by Jenkins, 5 by Peyton, and 2 by Butts. Balanced scoring on the other side. 12 points unofficially by Kaler in the first half, 2 points by Fields. Kennedy finished with 5. Aiden Hughes ends up with 9 in the first half. Attucks 8 turnovers, Cathedral with 6. Halftime coming up in a moment. Keith Myers out of a special guest right here on Indiana SRN.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to IHSAAfoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 160,000 participants here in Indiana who take part in high school sports.
The key for Cathedral to get things back in?
Well, Cathedral's guards need to play their capabilities. They have really good guards. I mean, they have a really good team. But Attucks right now, as good as their guards are, they are clearly outplaying Cathedral.
You look at the start and the finish of this, someone's going to make a run. Cathedral will make a run. If you're Attucks, what do you have to do to get ready for that run?
Yeah, because Cathedral's not going to go anywhere. It's too good of a program, too well coached, too many good players, and they've won too much. So they're going to come out, and they're going to give everything they got at Attucks. I think they're a little wounded from this first half and what happened last year when Attucks just kind of punked them and threw them around. Aiden Hughes and Brady Kohler have kept the Irish in this game, and I think these guards are too good to be shut down for a full game. I think you'll see them come out this second half and assert themselves.
The two guys upstairs are doing a great job. I know you're doing some games with us. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. Sectional's coming up a lot. What is your best experience now behind the mic and not coaching?
My best experience is getting to watch these coaches and kids play. When you go and you coach college ball for some time like I did, and you get to come back, you forget how well coached these kids in the state of Indiana are and how good these high school coaches are. You take it for granted, so it's great to be back and see it again.
Dad came with you tonight. First thing he said was, "Good job, young man." Talk a little bit about your dad and the history, especially in this building.
Well, my dad was the all-time leading scorer, second time now to Trey Lyles. Played here, then played at Purdue where he was an All-American, then won a world championship with the Golden State Warriors in 1975. So for him to be watching games back in this gym against two schools he had great battles with, it just brings a big smile to his face.
And everybody at Sully knew who he was. He could collect $1 for everybody. He would be rich right now.
Yeah, he's got his picture on the wall so they can go identify him if they didn't. So, yeah, he's in heaven tonight. It's great. This is one of the best events of the year, and IndianaSRN does a great job carrying it.
And the crowd came. It was a late crowd, but a nice crowd on the end as well.
Great crowd as always, as it should be, whether you're a Cathedral fan or an Attucks fan, but more so just a basketball fan. You want to see the future stars. You want to see some really good kids, really good players. This is it.
Okay, I got to tell you, go back to work on Tuesday, and we'll see you on IndianaSRN.
Sounds good. Thank you, Keith.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be ready for the second half right after this.
Ever miss a big game by downloading the IHSAA TV app for free on any device? For your iPhone or Apple TV, check the App Store. On your Android or Android TV device, load up the Google Play Store. Have a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick? We have the app for you. Check us out on Facebook Live, Twitter, or YouTube Live by searching for IHSAA TV. Or as always, click to IHSAATV.org for quick and easy access to your favorite IHSAA live and archived events.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Back here, Tech High School halftime score 41-31. Today's broadcast is a copyright production of IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Any use of audio or video without the express written permission of IndianaSRN and the IHSAA is strictly prohibited. Want to remind you tonight's game brought to you in part by Tam Sweet and Savory Cafe. They offer tradition of food like Grandma used to make. Great staff, great food. Check them out Wednesday through Sunday. Give them a call at 317-760-1640. And it was run down the first half scoring. We do have it official now. Cathedral led by Brady Kaler with 13. Aiden Hughes had 11. Derek Kennedy with 5 and 2 points by Anthony Fields. On the other side, Attucks had good balanced scoring. Chris Hurt had 12. Desmond Briscoe with 4, Ron Rutland with 2. 6 points by Eric Jackson, Mason Lewis with 6, Demetrius Jenkins with 4, Peyton had 5, and Butts finished with 2 in that first half. 8 turnovers by Attucks in the first half as well, and Cathedral finishing with 6 turnovers in the first half. These two teams will, of course, perhaps meet in the sectionals. We mentioned earlier they're in sectional 10. If you didn't hear, the girls sectional draw came out last night. You can check that out on the sports page on IndianaSRN.org and RadioTroy.com as well. Coach, let's talk about keys to the second half. 10-point lead has gotten as big as 15 at one point for Attucks. Let's start with Cathedral. What they got to do to get back in this thing?
Well, I think the biggest thing's got to be is when these shots are going up, they got to be able to release somebody. I can remember the days back when I was coaching. I mean, when we were against teams that really liked to push the pace, is we would take the football terms into it and take a fullback and a halfback. And if you were a fullback, you were running all the way to the rim. We would send two. And then we would have a halfback going to half court to really slow the ball down. And then your guy going back, fullback guy to the rim, was one to prevent layups and dunks. But they got to be in a position where they can slow the pace down a little bit. They've done a really good job offensively. Cathedral hasn't gone to the boards, but then that's the bad thing is that if you're crashing hard and you got 4 or 5 and they get an outlet pass quick, it's hard to defend that. So they got to be mindful of that to cut that down.
We mentioned Rutland only had 2 points, had 5 against Heritage Christian, got into some foul trouble. Can he be a little more aggressive now? He got through that first half with just the 2.
Well, I think here's the thing. It is, this is a young man, again, that can put 20 up a night. He averaged 18 last year, taking a different type of role this year, orchestrating. His job is to get his 15 a game if he can, but get other guys involved, and he's one that's doing that. There are so many other things that this young man can do even when he's not scoring. He's allowing his team to be in the position they are in now, playing for a second straight city championship.
Second half ready to go. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Boilermaker Local 374. They represent highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication throughout the state. For more information, give them a call at 219-845-1000. We are underway now here in the second half. That is Kaler on the drive. Basket good, and he's fouled. The foul going against Demetrius Jenkins, his third.
Well, and Brady had 13 at that first half in terms of being their leading scorer, and he's got a chance to put 3 on the board within the first 9 seconds. So those are the types of things that not just with Kaler, but with all of them, you got to be in a position where you're kind of forcing guys, as we used to call it when I was coaching, in terms of the lane is like the house. So you got to push them outside the house and don't open those hips as he converts the three-point play.
Kaler, by the way, got offered by Notre Dame. Micah Shrewsbury was here the other night to watch him play. As you get a look at Mason Lewis. Lewis double teamed in the corner, picks up his dribble, dangerous place to be. Here's Rutland. Rutland starts to penetrate, the kick out. Here's Hurt for 3, no good. Long rebound in the corner, eventually won there by Gatlin.
Well, and he kind of hesitated. He thought about doing it, and then he pulled back, and then he shot. And most times when that happens, you kind of take yourself out of that sync or out of that rhythm in terms of your shooting. And here's the other thing is a shot like that can always come at any point in time of your given possession. You can always come back for that. I believe in breaking down the defense with some off-the-ball movement and then moving the ball itself, because you can always end up with a 3.
Kaler with the basketball. Nice story about him in the Indianapolis Star about how much he grew at 7 inches. He was a guard, and now all of a sudden he finds himself as a forward. The drive, finger roll, no. The miss there by Goff, the tip by Kaler, no. And we've got a foul. It's going to go against Kaler.
Yeah, great job of attacking the basket on the putback. And, as much as it is 85 feet from the baskets, it's one that sometimes you can give up, even though it is his third. But sometimes as a coach, you don't get as offended with that because it's the aggressive type play that you're fouling. However, it is your dog, it is your horse, and he's now got 3 fouls, so they got to be mindful about that as well.
Turnover there by Attucks, and they now have 9. Kennedy with the ball, gives it off now to Gatlin. Gatlin scoreless so far here tonight. Gatlin looking for someone open. It'll be Kennedy coming off that high screen.
Got to keep that dribble alive until you know you're ready to shoot or pass.
This is Goff. Here is Kaler. His jumper good. Now Kaler having a nice night. 5 in the quarter, 18 on the night. Here's Lewis across the timeline against Kennedy.
Well, and Kennedy's doing a good job keeping his hips high there and trying to minimize the court and making it smaller and not letting him try to reverse the direction of the floor.
Nice spin by Kennedy. Gives it off now to Kaler. Kaler lost it. Stolen away by Hurt. Hurt gives it up, and the left-hand layup is going to be missed. Rebound coming back the other way, and Gatlin will pick up the foul, and heading to the line will be Mason Lewis. Seven turnovers now by Cathedral, but I'll tell you what, Jenkins had a puppy right there and just Able to lay it in.
And you hope you can make it up here on these free throws, because they're back to a 2-possession game at 5 points and misses the front end of the first. But this is obviously the closest that Cathedral has been since late in the first quarter.
Free throw missed. Into the lineup once again for Attucks will be Peyton. Peyton had 5 in the first half. Second free throw now by Lewis. He'll get 1 of 2. Now 3 of 4 in the night, 7 points. 6-point lead. Kennedy with the basketball, stops at the free throw line. Another dangerous pass, and that's going to go off the hands of Goff. That'll be 8 turnovers.
Well, and the tough thing that Derek's getting him in there is it's 2 possessions in a row where he's picked his dribble up when he didn't know what he was going to do with the ball. You got to really bounce, hit the inside. If you don't have anything, just pull in back out and just kind of reset. But when you pick your dribble up like that, it just allows the guy to belly you up and everybody else to deny.
Good look at Rutland. He picks up his dribble, guarded closely by Gatlin. Here's Hurt with the basketball now for Attucks, trying to change directions against Goff. Hurt on the drive and has his shot blocked, taken away by Gatlin.
Yeah, just too much dribbling. I mean, you got to make your move or move the ball. The defense is just standing there. Everybody else is as well. So,
boy, another near dangerous pass. Gatlin steps up and hits the 3.
On his first basket of the game. And don't look now, but it's a 1-possession game. We talked about, even at halftime, that Cathedral is in a position where they're disciplined, they're well coached, they're not going to go away, and they've made their run now here where we get a nice answer there that we got. I couldn't tell who that was.
It was Lewis.
Lewis again.
Timeout on the floor, 44-39.
It is a 30-second timeout.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Fighting Irish basketball after the timeout. Gatlin in the corner hits 2 in a row now from 3. And guess what? It's a 2-point ball game.
Yeah, hadn't scored the whole game and scored 6 points with 2 threes now in the last 40 seconds.
Does Attucks have an answer now? This is Chris Hurt, guarded by Goff out front, gets the screen. They'll hand it off now to Lewis.
There he is. Got to get the ball over.
They'll feed it inside to Briscoe, and Briscoe's going to get fouled. Gatlin coming from the backside help.
Yeah, I like that they got the ball inside. He established himself, but what I would like to do is be able to see that ball pass to the wing and give him a better angle. Just really tough. So much in a line of the pass makes it a lot harder, but nonetheless got it into him. The big fella drew the foul to get 2 here at the line.
Briscoe so far just 4 points tonight. His first trip to the free throw line. Things aren't falling, are they?
Well, and as big as he is, too, I mean, to be shooting his first free throws where they're really outmatched and don't have anyone, not only with so much his height, but more so his size to be able to guard him. We'd like to, again, see that more established with him here in the second half.
Missed them both.
Well, I'm sure that the Cathedral staff is taking note of that as well. They don't shoot too bad from the line as a team at 76.
Hand off to Goff. Goff the drive, the kick out. Kennedy passes up the 3. Down low now to Kaler. Kaler working against Briscoe. Back to Kaler in the corner. Nice pass inside.
Very nice done.
Hughes for 13.
Great job there, and good patience at that. I thought it was a good decision by Kaler not to try to go up on the bigger fella. Kicked it out, made him run out, show and go, and then found the open guy for an uncontested layup. Really good offense.
Tied at 44. This is Lewis. Off now to Rutland. His jumper's no good. One and done. Rebound Goff. Here come the Fighting Irish. Goff off now to Gatlin.
There's a heat check moments here where you got to try to, you can belly up when they're out of position. Here, gave it right back.
Gatlin misses it. Rebound, tip up, good by Kaler. And all of a sudden, Cathedral with a 2-point lead.
Now this is their first lead I think that they've had since the 2 minutes into the game. And Kaler's now with 20.
Well, and they almost turned that ball over, too.
It's a hold here.
Yeah, Sheldon Gatlin picks up his third. You just don't see the same life maybe you saw in the first half from Attucks, do you? I mean, it just seems like their energy's not there.
Well, and some of that has been as they've given up ball. I mean, Cathedral's doing a good job of moving the ball and getting good balance. They've hit some threes. They're working you on the inside. They've hit a couple free throws as well. So they're getting it in a combination of ways. But the other thing, by hitting those baskets, what's that have you do? Have to take the ball out of bounds. So it's slowing down a bit as we certainly get a basket here by Peyton.
Well, they needed that one, Peyton.
Yeah, but made baskets takes the transition game out, and that's where Attucks got their lead in the first half.
This is Goff on the drive. Floater blocked out of bounds by Briscoe, timed it perfectly. By the way, Sheldon Gatlin out of the ball game with those 3 fouls coming into the lineup. Anthony Fields.
Here's the other thing, too, is being in a position where Kaler's got 3 as well. Try to drag him out on the perimeter and use some of your quickness to try to take him to draw a foul. Great job of Kennedy kicking the ball or kissing the ball off the glass there.
Yeah, great touch by Derek Kennedy. He has 7. Lead back to 2. This is Mason Lewis working against Kennedy. A lot of dribbling, Coach.
Yeah.
Lewis pulls up short.
You just can't have that type of, I mean, you're getting in a half-court set and you have 0 passes. And you come up with a jump shot. You got to be able to break the defense down.
3-pointer no good by Kaler. Long rebound Lewis. Back the other way we go. Wide open Rutland for 3. Rims in and out. Knocked out of bounds by Briscoe. They cannot buy a basket here in the third.
Yeah, it's been a tough shooting quarter for the Tigers, but one that's a great look. You're in transition. You got a guy trailing. They're dropped. You get the kick. It's the shot that certainly Coach Hawkins wants. It's one that Rutland normally knocks down. He's like a 38% 3-point shooter. Just one didn't drop.
The drive by Goff, too hard on the shot, rebounded by Rutland. The break the other way. Lead pass and a foul call. Basket good. Great play and body control at the other end by Peyton.
Well, and you said it, Troy. Great body control. Went off 2, but then kind of got bumped, took him out of bounds. Great touch and athleticism and being able to try to knock down the 3-point play and give them back the lead.
Foul called on Hughes. That'll be his 2nd. Free throw's good.
That's his 10th.
So now Cathedral down by 1. Under 2 minutes remaining.
On what looked to be like what the Tigers might run away with their 2nd straight title. Cathedral having something to say here through the third. Let's get a turnover here, but back to a 1-point lead for Attucks, and we're certainly framing up towards the end of this third and into the fourth for a nail-biter.
Coach Delaney getting a towel, wiping off the sweat after that turnover.
Cathedral throwing a little bit of full-court pressure here, probably just token pressure, trying to slow them down, make them try to be uncomfortable and get into their offense a little higher than what they would certainly prefer.
This is Rutland. 9 turnovers now by Cathedral.
Post up, big fella.
The kick. Here's Peyton. Double teamed on the baseline. No look pass. Stolen away. 11 turnovers now by Attucks. Here's Anthony Fields. Slip screen the other way by Hughes. Fields drives in the lane. Floater good. His first bucket.
It is. His 4th point of the game, 2 coming by free throw in the first half.
So we go back and forth. 1-point lead now for the Fighting Irish. This is Hurt. Hurt, left hand in the lane, can't get it to go. Rebound Briscoe, and a foul call.
That's his 4th if it's on Kaler. And I think if you're Delaney, you got to bring him to the bench. No, they called it on Hughes.
That's a break, huh?
Yeah, it was, and Hughes just turned around. He wasn't even involved with the play. I don't know how that how that ended up being on him, but at the same time it is. And to the likes of Coach Delaney, he would probably rather have Aiden have 2 than DeKaler have his 4.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Desmond Briscoe 0 for 3 from the line tonight, still stuck at 4 points for the big guy. Under a minute remaining here in the third.
And he's 72% free throw shooter. Again, the team is 76, and he gets this second one to go 1 of 4 now from the line, and his 5th point.
Goff will hand it off now to Fields. Fields spins in the lane. Under the basket, good look at Hughes.
And good patience there by Aiden, knowing that playing for a better shot. And here's the thing, too, you got to get the carry call. This is what you want as a coach and even as a player. You want to be able to pass up a good shot for a better shot. Yeah. So you're putting yourself in a position where you play the percentages. A lot of times you're taking the good shot that you can get at any point of the possession, but you're playing for a better one to have better percentage chance.
30 seconds remaining.
See if they'll play for the last one here as they did for the end of the second quarter. However, it did give Cathedral a few seconds to where they hit the buzzer beater at the break.
That is Rutland at midcourt.
Again, if you're playing for one, you go start to get in it at about 7. He's going to get a push off here. Sure did.
So Rutland picks up his 3rd. That'll be the 12th turnover by Attucks.
Yeah, it's tough as a player because you don't feel it in the heat of it. But anytime you're getting that inside hand and extending, 9 out of 10 times you're going to get called. It is suspect, go either way. You'd like to see things like that to be able to play through in a game as such. But the extension kind of puts the official at a place a lot of times where it's a judgment call.
Gatlin back in. That'll give them an extra offensive player for Cathedral with just 10 seconds remaining.
And deadlocked at 50 and giving Cathedral a chance to take back another lead.
This is Goff. Gets the screen from Hughes. Goff shot off the front of the rim. Battle for the rebound, and that's going to do it for the third. We're tied at 50.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Back here at Tech High School, we're heading to the fourth quarter. So far, nothing decided. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Passion of Care. Don't miss this chance to turn your compassionate efforts into a rewarding experience. Learn more about the SFC and the ATTC today and embark on a journey of care and compensation. Give them a call at 317-537-1811. Hey, great comeback, though, by Cathedral, huh?
No, without a doubt. And I think the biggest thing we talked about earlier is that they're starting to hit more shots and getting them in balanced ways. I think what Attucks needs to do is being able to get the high hands and hard closeouts on the outside, driving them guys off their line and making them make shots in uncomfortable ways. You allow them to spot up. And then the other thing is being able to have better help side. There's been about 6 or 8 of their points in that quarter came off things inside the paint.
So it will be Attucks basketball to begin the fourth quarter. This is Lewis. Leading the way, Kaler with 20 points here tonight. Lob pass inside to Briscoe, layup good, and that's what they need.
Well, and that's the thing, they just need to pound. I mean, I'm driving the ball inside. You continue to do that, you're going to maximize, not only your opportunity to get baskets, but really set yourself up for your second straight city championship.
Almost another turnover by Kennedy. The drive and off-balance shot, good by Anthony Fields. He has 6.
Well, again, just too easy getting downhill there, getting all the way to the basket. It's just too deep at that point. You got to do better guarding on the perimeter and forcing him to the sidelines.
Boy, Attucks looking back inside to Briscoe. That might be the idea, get it into the big guy again, huh?
Well, trying to play more of this little matchup zone. And the way that you're going to beat this is high-low action, getting the ball inside or getting it high, and then getting your low guy to be able to pin or get your wings to hit back door.
Peyton missed it. Fields got the rebound, took it all the way down, nearly turned it over. Nice pass, Kaler, but then it's stolen away. Cathedral now 11 turnovers. Double team in the backcourt. And another turnover, this time Attucks. Here's Kaler. Baseline drive, takes the contact, missed it. Rebound, Attucks. It'll be Lewis. 3-on-1 break, and then stolen away by Kennedy.
Yeah, just telegraph that. Kennedy did a great job in terms of reading that, and it's kind of really helter-skelter now, right now, and got to be able to get a little bit more control.
Foul call the other way. Basket good. Foul on Derek Kennedy.
Very good body control there. I think, again, but somebody's got – it's one thing in transition, but if it's going back and forth, somebody has to have the court leadership on either team, respectively speaking, to be able to recognize when we have numbers to go and being able to set. If you're in transition, it's a little bit different, but you got to keep your feet. Cathedral has been in a position where they've taken 4 charges tonight.
And Briscoe has struggled from the line as he misses yet another one. He's been there 5 and missed 4.
Yeah, and part of that, too, is he's floating on the line instead of really holding his position and on his follow-through. He's backing up off the line. A lot of that's balance in terms of shooting mechanics.
How about this 3 missed by Hughes? Rebound inside by Goff, and the floater missed by Hughes, and coming away with it and falling to the floor, and a foul call. Some of the Attucks fans were going nuts right there, but the bottom line is the call was made.
I don't know if he liked that call, or I would probably go to say, Troy, that he didn't like it. He was up and down here. We're on the second floor on the concourse level, and he's running down half court, shouting from the second level here.
He ought to be really happy because Kaler just picked up number 4.
Yeah.
Cash Daniels will come in. You talk about a small lineup now for Cathedral.
Now, again, this is where Desmond Briscoe has to establish himself on the block. This is you got to pound this inside.
Well, guess what? He's out top. Here's Briscoe. Briscoe in the lane, shot up the glass, good. He's like, I'll show you. I can do this from the outside too. 4-point lead.
And here's where you got to get stops. It's one thing to get scores on your end, but you got to get stops on the other end, and you got to do them successively.
Hughes missing the floater. Back the other way is Hurt. Back out to Briscoe. 3-pointer, good. Timeout on the floor.
Inside, outside.
59-52.
Well, and here's the thing, too.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We never really realize how much we depend on electricity until the power goes out. Get those lights back on when you choose the certified electricians at Bertner Electric Incorporated. Locally owned and operated, we are a member of the Better Business Bureau and provide only the highest quality of customer service. For more information, give us a call today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Piper Logistics. It's a group of logistics professionals dedicated to working together to provide our clients with complete logistics. If you need more information, give them a call at 317-396-1023. Picking up the energy here tonight, but how about Attucks coming back and Desmond Briscoe doing the job inside and outside?
No, I mean, it certainly is one, and we knew that he has that type of game to be able to do those things, but we're in positions here where you got Kaler out of the game, and again, I know the shot went down, and that's something he can do and stretch the defense, but again, it's about percentages. They've grown it back to the 7, but now they got to be able to get stops. The interesting thing is going to be is how long Coach Delaney can sit. Kaler. And the more and more this gets a bigger margin, the quicker he might have to come back with him.
Cash Daniels gets it inside to Hughes. Just no size right now. Back to Daniels, layup good. Nice pass by Aiden Hughes.
What a name to have, Cash, in the game of basketball, right? His first basket of the night. And some of the foul trouble has drawn Coach Delaney to go to his bench a little deeper.
This is Hurt, guarded there by Daniels. Now it'll be Rutland on the drive. Rutland stops in the lane, kicks it on the right wing to Lewis. Back
dribble.
inside to Briscoe.
Got to get to the basket.
The kick out. Here's Rutland for three.
Well, and that's Rutland's first three of the night, his 5th point of the game, and it couldn't have come bigger as it climbs back to an 8-point lead. Now this is where you got to get stops. Kick it back to a double-digit lead. You get scores, you got to get stops.
Crossover, floater good by Fields. I got to ask you, Coach, how long do you keep Kaler out?
Well, I think the biggest thing is as long as Cathedral can keep it within a 5-6 point game, you might be able to keep him to about 2.5.
Good look out front by Hurt. Guarded there by Fields. Fields has 8 after that last basket. Near travel there by Rutland. Rutland on the spin.
And neither team's in a position where you're almost in the bonus. You got Cathedral has 2 fouls, and interesting enough, Attucks doesn't have any.
Fadeaway, no good by Briscoe. Long rebound by Hughes. Hughes, 2-on-1 break back the other way, feeds it off, and we've got a foul call against Lewis, and he'll go to the line. Speaking of Anthony Fields for 2 shots.
Well, I again, it's one of those things where if the shot goes down, somebody can say it was a good shot. But even if that goes in, I don't like it, and here's why. Is you grew it back to 8, all right, your biggest lead that you had here in the second half. You're in a position where you got their big on the bench. You got 3 minutes to go. If you're taking that shot, kind of get your back to the basket, crab dribble, or move the ball and play for a better shot. I mean, they have to come out and guard you at this point. Now it's a 2-possession game.
Yeah, first free throw good, and Kaler is back in. Second free throw good as well. Anthony Fields, big numbers off the bench again. Back to 4.
This is where we talked about in the first half. Spacing, player movement, ball movement is going to break down Cathedral and making them defend you. You don't have to be in a hurry to take shots.
Briscoe's in a hurry, missed it. Long rebound to Payton.
And by no means are you in a stall. You're just playing for a good shot, but you make them defend you.
Yeah.
Quick shots give them quick rebounds that lead to transition.
Here's Lewis, guarded there by Daniels. Baseline, shot good.
Played through, did a great job of playing through the contact and thought that might have been a foul, but nonetheless goes back to 6. Still 2-possession game on the floor.
Foul, I think they may get Rutland on this one.
That's his 4th, if so. It is. And this might be in a position where you're subbing defense for offense. Take him out for defense, get him back in for offense. See if that's in fact what he might do. Now he's actually going to take out Payton.
2:35 remaining as Gatlin back in. So that gives him more size at 6'7", and Kaler at 6'8".
Well, and if I'm Coach Hawkins, I'm just going to face guard. I'm going to look to face guard Kaler and make somebody else beat me. We have enough athletes if I'm Attucks, but they have to be disciplined to square their hips and channel towards the sidelines and not do a half turn to where they let them get downhill. Picked up 2 quick fouls in the last 15 seconds, and now we're at 3 fouls.
Coming back in the lineup, Demetrius Jenkins. Rutland will sit down. That last foul called on Briscoe, his 3rd. Good look here at Cash Daniels. Kennedy with the basketball off and Anthony Fields.
And they're staying off of him, letting him shoot.
Fields for 3.
Yep, got him a 3.
Wow.
He's had a great second half.
Backed off him a little too far, didn't he?
Yeah, he had 2 in the first half and has 9 in the second. So had a great second half. Attucks sitting on a 3-point lead with 2 minutes to go. That's just their 3rd as well. So both teams still got another one to give before the shooting.
So that'll be on Cash Daniels. Rutland coming back in. Peyton coming back in.
So you got to keep the spacing, and you got to look at your penetration gaps. Where can we attack to make the defense pinch? And then off ball, looking to hit those guys back door and kind of getting some of your circle movement for points of release.
I'm not sure what Coach Hawkins was doing. He was going down to get a towel, but they already got a towel out here now. Happened to notice that Cathedral's kind of possessive about those towels, huh? You can't have a towel.
That's it. Well, I know Coach Delaney used to coach here, so maybe he's got a few more on his side than what Coach Hawkins does.
Yeah, Coach Hawkins doesn't have any on his side. All right, so the inbound here by Hurt. That is Rutland deep in the corner, guarded there by Kennedy. Rutland.
Play percentage shots.
Up and under, shot, missed it. Rebound battled for. A lot of contact. And wait a minute, yep, it's going to be on the floor here against Cathedral.
No shots. That was the one to give. That was the number to give, so it'll be on the next one they'll be shooting. That's their fourth. Attucks still has one more to give. Again, you don't have to be in a hurry to shoot. Play for a good shot.
That's
a
Rutland.
good shot.
Almost too easy for Rutland.
Well, that's what they needed. I mean, force a two-possession game where one of them is actually a three.
Here's the drive off the glass. No good by Fields.
Again,
it's almost like you're coaching again here, huh?
Yeah, you know, getting the grind back in. My hand motion's up here. They have to come defend you, and there's the hands, so now you got shots. So what it's going to come down to, again, you got 72% in free throw shooting with Cathedral. You got 76% shooting for Attucks. But this is where, if you want a second championship from a standpoint of them being in the bonus, they've got to come defend you. You got to stay spaced, and you have to knock down free throws.
Gatlin fouls out. 6 points, 2 3-pointers in that third quarter.
And this is Chris Hurt, who had 12 in the first half, has been silenced in the second with no points. So he's got a chance to get back on the board. But I'll tell you, Troy, this is where the free throw shooting becomes paramount. Very, very important to stay off the line until you're ready to shoot. Stay in your rhythm, knock it down, and be in a position where it's almost that you see it as self-visualization. You knock it down before you ever even touch the ball.
Everybody trying to wipe up sweat on the floor, apparently.
Again, just a reminder to those listening and watching, these are two teams that played each other right here in the championship last year, with Attucks winning and then Cathedral returning favor in terms of getting the win in sectional to bounce Attucks from the state tournament. So Attucks going for a second straight title here in the 71st City Alliance, and he knocks down the second.
13 points by Hurt, 14 by Briscoe.
Well, you got to get a stop here and be in a position. If you're Cathedral, again, you don't have to have a three. You play for the best percentage shot.
Kaler, baseline shot good. He has 22.
And getting a quick timeout here by Coach Delaney.
67-63, Attucks.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
$67-63. Let's talk about strategy here with just over a minute remaining.
Well, I think, if you're Cathedral, you want them to catch it in front of them. You got to think about just maintaining your yard, guarding your yard, keeping contained. You might have some token pressure. Got to be in a position where you're waiting for some type of trap as they might try to get you here. So important where you catch and face. You don't look to try to dribble through this trap.
Hurt, skip pass to Rutland. Rutland lost it, able to get it back. Inside, and the dunk by Briscoe.
Well, those points obviously will be a help, not only for the crowd in terms of getting them up, but the highest percentage of shots. Now, If you're Cathedral, you start to look for a three if you can get one. If not, you can't waste too much time to do so.
Well, they're wasting time right here as Hughes looks to give it up, does so. Here's Goff. Now it'll be Kaler. Kennedy.
Too much. You got to look to get the shot off.
And the floater is going to be missed. Kaler, the putback good, and a foul off the miss by Hughes.
Yeah, what a follow there by Kaler, the athleticism, to have the soft touch and playing through that point of contact and trying to get the old school conventional three.
Foul's going to be called on Mason Lewis. That'll be his second. Kaler, a chance to make this a one-possession game.
It is, and you're in a position where if you're a Cathedral and you hit this, you really don't have to foul. I think you play it out about 5 seconds or so, seeing if you can get a steal or create a turnover, and then if you start to get more towards that 13 or 12, you got to look to foul.
So here's Kaler. Timeout on the floor. We'll keep it here for this one. Want to remind you tonight's game brought to you in part by the Morales Group. Their mission is building better futures one story at a time, and they acknowledge the whole person and their individual story. Give them a call at 317-472-7600. Well, a lot of things can happen right here. We don't have a whole lot of time on the clock, so for the Fighting Irish, you got to work kind of quick here, whatever they're going to try to do defensively.
It is. Well, first off, you got to have, instead of a half court, I look for them to have more three-quarter court. Again, try to put yourself in a position where you can create a turnover, but I think you have about 4 or 5 seconds to play with to see if you can create just that. If not, then you got to try to go to foul by about 12. That still leaves you enough time to at least get one, perhaps maybe even 2 cracks at it, and hoping that Attucks can go 1 for 2 with their free throws.
So 18.7. Inbounding the basketball will be Peyton.
If you're Cathedral, you can't get beat long. You have to have them catch this in front of you.
Kaler will certainly try to shadow the basketball wherever he can out front. It'll be Lewis on the inbound and a quick foul with 16.7.
Yeah, and he's one of their 80% free throw shooters. He's shooting 83 for the year. Last time at the charity stripe, he went 1 for 2, which is exactly what Cathedral wants to happen. Obviously, a 3-possession game, you want him to mix both if you're the Irish. But, again, if you do hit one of these 2, you don't have to get a 3. It still would be a 4-point game, and you go for the quick one. Obviously, if he hits both, you got to hit the 3.
So here is Lewis.
A lot of time left, 16.7.
3 of 4 from the line. Now 4 of 5.
And he's now got 12 in the game. Had 6 in the first, 6 in the second, trying to make his 13th point and give Attucks a 5-point lead. Might look, if he hits this, to get a timeout. And it looks like you're going to, just a sub.
Yeah, they're going to bring Demetrius Jenkins in the lineup. Rutland will sit down with those 4 fouls just in case they need him.
Well, here, you need a 3 and a 2, so you just take whichever one the defense gives you opportunity with. You don't play for one over the other. You just got to go with what you can get first.
And the basket good by Kaler, and he's fouled.
Well, and that's his 27th point. But I'll tell you what, the biggest part of that is not the made basket, but how he made it. Yeah. Great job of putting himself in a position where he's drawing contact. Now, if you're Attucks, you can't put yourself in a position where you're given that.
Yeah.
If he's not pulling the 3 ball, you got to stay back and let him hit that, because it still takes a 3. You can go 1 for 2 down here and still make it a 2-possession game.
So Kaler having a huge night.
Now, if he hits this, again, you probably have about 2, maybe 3 seconds, all right, to try to get a steal or a turnover before you have to commit the foul. And that still gives you 6 seconds to work with potentially to hit a game winner or a tying basket.
So Kaler at the line. Chance to make it a 2-point ball game, and he misses it. The rebound by Hughes. And timeout by Cathedral. Uh-oh. All right, now that sets up an interesting scenario. What do you want to do?
Well, you know, when you get in these moments, you always ask, one, you know, if you're the team with the 3-point lead, do you foul? It's an automatic two shots. Do you play that in? I think that there was, 6 seconds to go?
Yeah, yep.
You could play that route, or do you play to defend it and be in a position where, you know, with only 6 to go, you almost have to go for a 3 because your chances of getting another possession without one of the 2 free throws kind of puts the game maybe out of reach. Be interesting to see what Coach Hawkins' approach is, but at the same time, and what Coach Delaney is drawing up. I think if you're in a position to here, defensively, I think if you're Attucks, I think you have to switch on any ball screen. You can't be in a position, whether they're a shooter or not, where you give open looks. So I would hope to think that they will immediately switch any type of ball screen.
So actually 5.5 remaining.
Keep in mind, too, one that hit Gatlin, I believe, did he foul out, or was he had 4 fouls on the bench, or did he actually foul?
Gatlin fouled out.
I thought so. And he was one that hit 2 or 3 threes here in the second half.
Yeah.
They got 3 or 4 guys really out here that really 4 that can really hit it.
Daniels has to call another timeout. There was nobody open. So another quick timeout.
Well, here's the thing that does. I mean, Attucks did a great job of defending and forcing that timeout call before the 5-second call. But this is what it also does, is it gave Coach Hawkins and his staff maybe a little sneak peek of what the scheme was or what the setup was. Didn't quite able to get into it. But again, I think you have to switch ball screens. You got to think about ball presence. And will they defend, or will they look to foul and force the free throws in hopes that they can actually get the ball back?
By the way, Brady Kaler unofficially, 29 points tonight?
Yes.
And then, of course, Desmond Briscoe's had a big fourth quarter. He's finished with 11 in there so far, 11 in the fourth quarter, 16 points.
Well, and Kaler's had 2 3-point plays here in the last minute.
So here we go.
Who? He was at 4. Oh, was he? Probably shouldn't have been called then.
So Kaler will inbound. So get a little bigger here than they had Cash Daniels trying to inbound the last time. So Kaler will inbound the basketball in the backcourt to Goff. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Goff at the buzzer, missed it, and the rebound by Attucks. And the Tigers win their second consecutive City Alliance Championship, 71-68. They had a double-digit lead in the first half, and they let that get away with a strong third quarter by Cathedral. And so how about this? And again, Attucks maybe not played as well as they had hoped. 14 turnovers in this ball game, but they did just enough to win.
Well, I think the big thing was that played so much against Attucks and for Cathedral was they started making some shots.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of shot making, the tale of 2 different halves, which really took Attucks out of their tempo and their pace and the transition points that they got so much of in the first half. And then I think the other thing with Attucks kind of got out of even some of the half-court stuff that they were getting early on with some of their penetration and the kicks inside out. But, you know, the other thing to this, I certainly give a lot of credit to Coach Delaney, and more importantly to his players. I mean, they were missing really their catalyst and their player in Keaton Aldridge tonight. You know, the sophomore, leads them in, just short of leading them in scoring, but he does so many other things, and that was a big hole to fill, and they really played hard. They could have really, had the sail gone and been in a position where they folded. They were down by 10 at half, got down to as many by 14, but they didn't. They fought, and you would expect that from a Coach Delaney coach team. But certainly shout out to Coach Hawkins, the Attucks community, and these players for a second straight championship.
By the way, Desmond Briscoe, 16 points tonight. Chris Hurt with 13. Mason Lewis, 13. And Peyton with 10. Again, Brady Kaler ended up with 29. 13 by Anthony Fields. And Aiden Hughes with 13. Cathedral, they fall to 12-2 on the season. Attucks improves to 13-3. So a great game tonight as expected. These two teams could meet again coming up in the sectional, in Sectional 10, in about 4 to 5 weeks. Thanks to the entire crew. Excellent job as always throughout the semifinals and the finals. We thank them. We thank you for joining us as well as Attucks wins the City Alliance Championship 71-68.